There are 8.062 billion people living on this planet, yet Clair Obscur Expedition 33 has only sold 2 million copies worldwide. That is roughly 8,600,000,000 people in our world who have yet to play Expedition 33. What is wrong with you? If the insanely positive critical reception didn't sell it for you, then hopefully this video will. I'm going to be giving you 33 reasons to play Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Before we get into it, if you liked this video, it would help me out a lot to hit that like button and sub for more RPG content coming soon. You can also hit that super thanks button if you'd like to support the channel. I'd also love to know your thoughts on Expedition 33. Have you played it yet? Are you interested? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, let's get into it. Reason number 1, the story. A mysterious giant entity that writes a number on a monolith each year which erases that entire age group. Then the epic journey to put a stop to the Paintress and save humankind from its eventual doom. This premise is so interesting and not even close to anything I've ever experienced before. This is seriously one of those once in a generation stories, and for me it's up there with the likes of Xenogears and Planescape Torment. If you're into quality storytelling, you cannot miss out on this one. Expedition 33's dungeon exploration is amazing. Each of the dungeons are linear by design, but they do have many hidden paths which often lead to massive optional areas with plenty of rewards. These locations also don't have maps, so you'll really need to use your eyes and take mental notes of your surroundings to proceed. This exploration style and the expedition flags as checkpoints makes it closer to a turn-based Dark Souls than we've ever had, and I loved every second of it. Giving us a quality turn-based system is one thing, but then implementing reactive parry and dodge mechanics better than any turn-based RPG has ever done before is really something. I loved that you could choose if you want to attempt a dodge which has a larger window or risk it for a parry which would lead to a powerful counterattack. This risk-reward system always keeps you on your toes, and I tell you now, successfully parrying multiple attacks then seeing that counterattack animation is such an amazing feeling. If you like a quality cast of characters, Expedition 33 will not disappoint. Each of the main cast have their own backstories and are given plenty of time to shine. I genuinely cared about every one of them, and watching them at their highest and at their lowest points was so emotionally gripping. Seeing how they deal with the tragedies that befall them and how they grow over the course of the game is something that I think all gamers should experience. This is a cast of characters that I will not be forgetting about anytime soon. Putting the dodge and parry mechanics aside, the rest of the combat is also outstanding. There is a big requirement in creating synergy between your party members. For instance, one character could focus on inflicting an enemy with burn, while another could follow that attack with an ability that does more damage to burnt enemies. There is a lot to think about and many different ways to play, which is how a good RPG should be. Clair Obscur Expedition 33's setting is absolutely gorgeous. The game begins in the stunning French-inspired town of Lumiere until you venture out into the unknown. These unknown lands are stunning, with a surrealist style that is something that really can't be compared to any other game I've ever played. One minute, you'll be running through a lively village full of odd-looking minstrels, and the next, a haunting dungeon full of things that want to destroy you. There are so many locations that you'll visit on your journey, and this world and setting is one of my favourites of all time. I cannot remember the last time I heard such a flawless soundtrack. The composer Lorien Testard was discovered on a small indie forum which led to the lead developers checking out his SoundCloud work. The most unbelievable thing is that he had never worked on a video game before. That is so hard to believe because what he created is nothing short of a musical masterpiece. There are over 100 tracks on the OST, with every one of them doing exactly what it needs to. Whether it be dark atmospheric tracks with haunting vocals or intense battle themes that had me on the edge of my seat. Absolute perfection. There are many games out there that take a little while to get into. Some games start slow and gradually build up to something special. Expedition 33 is not that game. The prologue chapter introduces the themes of the game perfectly, and even before we get to know the characters, it somehow made me feel for them so strongly. This prologue was not only incredible, but it also ended with an absolute bang. Screw you, work the next day. I was not about to let that get in the way of playing another few hours. I've already mentioned how amazing the strategic combat is, but another big reason for its success is because each of the characters play so differently to one another. In addition to their own unique set of skills, each character also has some sort of gimmick that constantly needs to be considered if you want to get the most out of them. Mael, for instance, has different stances which impacts her offensive and defensive capabilities. Lune, on the other hand, can strategically accumulate elemental stains to improve the power or provide additional bonuses to certain attacks. It's not too often that you play a turn-based game where the characters are just so different from one another. I really can't wait to play Expedition 33 again so I can focus on other characters in my party. Expedition 33 may be an incredible game, but one thing's for sure, it is not a happy game. The game starts off hitting those feels and it does not let go. Ever. In a world where many JRPGs are anime-inspired, light-hearted, and child-friendly, it is rare to play a title with as much maturity and emotional depth as Expedition 33. The game focuses on themes of grief, sacrifice, and resilience, which are all things that many of those in its more mature targeted age group have experienced in their lives. Expedition 33 had me shocked, sad, and emotional more times than I could count, and I love it for that. Alright, so most of the time, yeah, it's doom and gloom, with the game making you feel like an emotional wreck, but there are also the occasional funny moments where characters try to lighten the mood. The dialogue in this game is really good, and there were times that made me laugh out loud. Expedition 33 knows when it needs to be serious, but it also knows when it can ease up a little for that little bit of relief.
I too am but I'm also wee! So the wee balances the
The majority of my favourite stories in any form of media are the ones that keep me guessing. Stories that establish a great sense of mysteries with countless twists and turns are the stories that really stick with me. Expedition 33 is a prime example of this. The initial mystery of the paintress and why she paints a descending number every year to kill everyone at that age was a great start, but after that point, there is plenty more to speculate about. Not only that, but each chapter's ending has a massive twist that honestly had my jaw dropping to the floor. The game's mystery and twists and turns is yet another reason why you need to play Expedition 33. One of the staples of classic JRPGs was exploring massive world maps full of towns, dungeons, and other great things to discover. Fast forward 30 years, and it's quite uncommon for modern games to both replicate this style and recreate the magic of these classics. Expedition 33 knocks it out of the park in this regard. The world map is not only big and beautiful, but there are loads of secrets to find with many optional areas scattered throughout. You've also got your traditional multi-modes of transport, from walking through these magical lands to soaring through the skies airship style. And the world map music, wowee, that makes it even more special. How to talk about the ending without spoiling the ending. Okay, I'm obviously not going to spoil anything specific, but there are two different endings that are both equally impactful. I had such a difficult time choosing which ending to see first, but I did end up watching both of them multiple times. These endings made me just so conflicted about how to feel about everything that I'd learnt throughout the game. These are two of the most impactful endings that I've ever experienced in a video game, and they'll be living in my head for a very long time. So, what is the best way to deliver a flawless dialogue and one of the best stories of all time in the most powerful way possible? Well, let's get on board a star-studded cast of voice actors. Ben Starr, who voiced Clive from Final Fantasy XVI, check. Jennifer English, who voiced Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate 3, check. Charlie Cox, who is Daredevil, check. And what about Andy Serkis, who is our most precious little creepy dude, check. I think you get my point. I really don't think we could have asked for anything more in this area. I already mentioned that the setting is one that I'll never forget, and this is largely due to the art direction. I lost count of the times that I stopped, looked around, and simply absorbed it all in. The environments are full of intricate details, and this attention to detail is something that is rarely seen in such an expansive game. And then we have the enemies, which gave me some serious Dark Souls vibes. These designs are, for lack of a better word, crazy. They are so dark, creepy, and borderline horrifying, which is really perfect for the atmosphere that the game has tried to create. Just like any good JRPG, Expedition 33 has a load of side quests and optional content to sink your teeth into. These all range in scope, from the simple fetch quest provided by the White Nevrons to the many optional locations scattered around the world map. Seriously, there is no shortage here. Whenever I got a new mode of transport, I would always travel around trying to find new places that I could access. If you want to do everything that the game has to offer, you can expect to spend dozens of extra hours doing so. If you're one that likes to tinker with your characters and create your own unique builds, then Expedition 33 will not disappoint. The main factors here are a character's weapon, which comes with unique passive abilities, the 6 skills they can equip, and choosing which Pictos and Luminas to activate. As you progress through the game, you will come across loads of Pictos and then learn their associated Lumina. Mixing and matching different combinations here can create some really interesting builds, and I honestly feel like I only scratched the surface of their potential. Sometimes it's the little things that make the biggest difference. I'm talking about those smaller details that will either go unnoticed by most or are just so seamlessly woven into the final product that they're rarely talked about on their own. A great example of this is the blood that builds up on the characters' faces as they take more damage. When they're at full HP and fully rested, they'll look like $1 million, but after losing HP, they'll look like they survived a war. Getting out of an intense battle and seeing the aftermath on the characters' faces was so cool to me. Little things like this is part of what makes Expedition 33 so special. Having a game full of incredibly well-developed characters like Mael is one thing, but having excellent dynamics between each of them is something else. You can take some time and converse with each of the main characters at the campsite, and these conversations are always interesting. The dynamics between each of them are different, and watching how their one-on-one relationships evolve over the course of the game was an absolute treat. Here's one for all you power-hungry jerks out there. It is possible to completely break the game in terms of creating characters who can absolutely slaughter everyone in front of them. With the right Lumina, weapons, and ability combinations, you can create a team of powerhouses capable of destroying just about every enemy in only a few turns. Ah yeah, another staple of any great JRPG. Typically, super bosses exist to truly test your abilities with the combat. Most of the time, they'll require your characters to be at an extremely high level with the best equipment and setups. And like I said, even if you do manage to break the game through doing this, Expedition 33 still provides a range of super bosses that will truly put your skills to the test. The amount of optional super bosses on offer is truly commendable and will keep you playing for hours if you want to defeat them all. While Expedition 33 may be considered an indie title, there is nothing about the final product that suggests that, and this is especially true with the visuals. This game looks better than most AAA titles, and it is so hard to believe that such a small studio was able to achieve this. Fun fact, there's quite a lot of early footage for this game, and it's really interesting to see how it visually evolved from the start to its final version in Unreal Engine 5. Very rarely do I finish up with a game and immediately want to play it a second time, but this is exactly the feeling I got after watching the end credits roll. Playing through this amazing game a second time, playing as new characters, would be enough incentive on its own, but being able to rewatch all those scenes knowing what I know now would be like an entirely new experience. Plus, there's still a few super bosses that I haven't defeated yet, and a New Game Plus option that lets you carry over a bunch of things to the new game. We live in a world where gaming prices just keep on getting pricier. I mean, we were recently informed that the prices of some of the Switch 2 titles will be $80 US, which is too much for a lot of people. While, if you ask me, this game is absolutely worth every cent of an $80 price tag, the fact is, they're not nearly as greedy, not even close. The game retails for $50, which is far cheaper than most other major titles out there. If you don't want to pay full price for a new game, Expedition 33 has you covered. I have already discussed this game's high level of detail, but if you look really closely, you'll find a bunch of Easter eggs scattered throughout the world, and these are always a lot of fun to discover. Here's a few of them for you. Firstly, one of the Jestrels in the village is sitting in a blaze of fire, and he simply says, "This is fine," obviously referencing this meme. There's also a painting of Sandfall Interactive developers found in the manor. And does this outhouse look familiar? Yeah, that's where Shrek does his business. The next reason you should play this game is because of my boy Esquay. If there is one character at my camp who I always wanted to talk to first, it was Esquay. He is just such a friendly, lovable, oversized marshmallow who I just wanted to hug. Part of the reason why I love him so much is because of his voice. I will never get sick of listening to these vocal cords hum.
My best friend when he asked for my help.
Your best friend is human?
Esquay, you are my new best friend. I know this isn't for everyone, but personally, I love minigames in my RPGs. This is part of the reason why I love FF7 Rebirth and the Like a Dragon series so much. While Expedition 33 isn't quite on this level for its minigames, it does offer quite a few that can be accessed in the various gestural beaches scattered around the world. These range from volleyball to parkour, and I had a load of fun doing most of these. If you've played the game, you'll no doubt know the one that is more on the frustrating side. One of the more recent trends in modern JRPGs is character cosmetics that are locked behind paid DLC. I have never paid for this as it doesn't sit right with me. Having to pay money to make my characters look a little different? No thanks. Fortunately, Expedition 33 has a costume system that requires no extra charge. Through the game, you'll be able to find loads of different costumes and hairstyles for each character, and these range from absolutely crazy to really cool. This is something that I wish every RPG would do. To put it simply, if you want to support the future of gaming, you should play Expedition 33. This game was developed by a bunch of ex-Ubisoft developers who never had the opportunity to thrive under the conditions at that company. Being a brand new indie studio with an incredibly supportive small publishing company, Kepler Interactive, the team that made Expedition 33 were able and allowed to do exactly what they wanted to, and they knew what to do. There were no constraints, no limits, no big boss man telling them what they need to include in the game. Supporting this game will also support the statement that creative freedom can result in something spectacular. We have never seen such a huge successful game that supports this notion so strongly. I've been playing RPGs for a long time now, and one of my biggest pet peeves is when games are too easy. But I also understand that games also need to be accessible to all if they want to make money. Expedition 33 is perfect in this regard. It's a game that is easy to pick up but very hard to master. You could play on easy and not worry too much about the parry or dodge mechanics. You could play on the moderate level and need to be somewhat skilled to progress. Or you could play on hard mode where you really need to learn enemy patterns to succeed. The balance here is perfect and something that will really cater to everyone. There is a lot that I don't remember about the games that I played only a few months ago. I can hardly remember what I did last weekend. I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. I cannot even remember what I'm talking about elephants on skateboards wearing top hats last Saturday. The fact is that since finishing Expedition 33 several weeks ago, I just can't stop thinking about it. This game left a strong, long-lasting impression, and I have a feeling that it'll be living rent-free in my head for a very long time. And the final reason that you should play Expedition 33 is because if you don't, you'll be missing out. Expedition 33 is the talk of the town. It's been getting incredibly positive reviews and selling more and more copies every day. This game will probably win Game of the Year, or at the very least, it'll be nominated for the prestigious award. There are two types of people in this world, those who have played Expedition 33 and those who haven't. Don't be part of the latter. To all you 8,060,000,000 people who haven't played this game yet, this was 33 reasons why you should play Clair Obscur Expedition 33. What did you think of this list? Is there anything else that you'd like to add? Let me know in the comments below. This was Hellfire RPGs. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, it would help me out a lot to hit that like button and sub for more RPG content coming soon. Alright, see you next time.